Hey everyone, it's Timid Falconite, and I'm back with I guess the last episode of season. What are we on? 4 of Road to 1K? Anyways, today's gonna be the last match of that. So, next time will be. Well, I'm not gonna change that much about it, but it'll technically be a different season, so. Um, anyways, Kindle versus Sonja match in Fog. So let's go to the map analysis because this is Goldfish Princess. That's not what I want to do. There we go. Anyways, so this is Goldfish Princess. You're not going to have much. Well, it's going to be foggy. So, and it is a smaller map. So this is like theoretically, this is a pretty decent Sonja map because you only have 40k. Yeah, it's 40k, so 20k income per day per player. There's a little bit of a second turn advantage as well, where Sonja's only got a 44% win rate. But this is one of the better maps for Sonja because it's small. The airport being sort of centrally located like this, I feel like, well, I mean it's two things, right? So it's making anti-air more common, which Sonja doesn't really like, but it also makes battlecopters more common, more or less in theory. So Sonja can get a good amount of superpower value out of just using the forward airport if, and this is a big if there isn't that much anti-air on the field, which, well, but anyways, this is a pretty strictly, I feel like this is just a basic tank map. You just spam tanks, surround everything. Unfortunate. Well, I'd say the comm towers are decently contestable, which is good for Sonja because what Sonja likes to do is grab both comm towers and then hold them for as long as she can. Is the main idea. So Sonja's better at sort of the point rush strat, which is sort of she's sort of like a mini Sturm in that aspect, even though she doesn't have the defense. But on HQ rush map, she's a little bit better than she is normally because you just don't want to attack into her if you can help it. So yeah, and if with her superpower active, you really can't always attack into her, and she likes having mainly just one unit type on the fields like tanks, attacking into tanks and stuff like that. So overall, this is like a decent Sonja map, but as you can see here, Kindle's at 58% win rate. So even against Drake, because it's sort of low income. But yeah, this is Rachel as well, because Rachel is pretty good on low income maps because her superpower does do a lot more damage percentage wise of your army, right? She's going to be affecting a lot more of your total army than she would in a larger map. Whereas someone like Drake would be better for a larger map because his power just scales with, well, its effectiveness scales with the amount of money that's on the field. And then Kindle's just stupid. She shouldn't really be in tier 3 in my opinion. She should really be banned entirely in my opinion because I don't like playing her or against her. But like the thing about Kindle is she's in this weird sort of area where she's better than everyone in tier 3 but worse than everyone in tier 2. So she's just de facto the queen of tier 3, basically. which sucks because I fucking hate playing against her and as her. But anyways, let's enough of my. Well, actually, hold on. I need to look at this real quick. So there are the ports here. They're not going to really matter, I don't think, unless you're going for like some sort of cheeky battleship strat as a defensive strat. But honestly, if you're that far in the back foot, you're probably not going to be able to afford a battleship or something like that anyways, because they are 28k and you're only getting 20 per day at par. So yeah, I'm not really expecting to see anything coming out of the harbors. There are these little black boats here, which again, I love black boats. They're a bit weird of how effective they can be. So if you use them properly, they can be very effective. But like, I don't know. This is the exact scenario that I always hate as well with black boats, is fog maps in which you're not exactly, it varies in like an easy point A to point B ferry, and their utility is a bit more hard to figure out what you want to do with it. But yeah, anyways. Let's go ahead and get started for the replay, I guess. So, starting out here, pretty basic, obvious infantry moves, so like nothing super fancy to start out with here. My opponent's going for an early recon, which I believe is, well, that's pretty good against Sonja, because her infantry are pretty exposed to recons and stuff. I'd say, well, I don't know, because I couldn't get a tank this turn anyway, so I opted for the recon instead. Although as Sonja, I think the tank would have probably been better. I should have just waited a turn for the tank, because that way I could have. Oh, he's going for a second recon even. Interesting. Well, to be fair, there isn't much income to start. You're starting pretty slow on the income train, so yeah. But I think a tank here would have been perfect, especially if I sent it left. But alas. Anyways, I am gonna get a massive amount of vision from this thing, though. And I should be able to cut off anyone who's trying to go for this comm tower pretty easily here as well. There's the tank. And it actually is in range of all of these guys, so actually there's not really a downside to waiting on building it until now for me. So he sees the infantry here. He's just gonna move in here to guard the comm tower, which is smart, because the tank there is maybe a bit, like it's maybe a bit close to move in here because it's right next to the bases, right? But yeah, I'm moving in with my infantry here in a way, and the tank as well, in a way that I'm trying to scare off his recon, because he doesn't really have any backup here. So he's gonna fall back with it, I believe. He's actually going for the attack into this recon. And he's taking a good amount of damage because it's a Sonja recon on like on a silo. I don't know what you're expecting. But I am a little bit weakened here, so sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm just moving in pretty aggressively with my infantry here. I might be even moving in a little bit too aggressively, but I have the tanks in range so that if he does move in with his recon, I'm going to be able to counter with my tanks. So there's that. I fall back with the recon to heal here. Unfortunately, I don't really have much of an answer to if he decides to move in with his recon over here. in the tank as well. So, yeah, maybe a little bit aggressive with the infantry in this area because I'm leaving them unguarded for the time being. Going for an sort of early anti-air. Anti-air is pretty decent as Sonja, not only because, well, I mean, Sonja anti-air isn't the best, to be honest. Well, actually, it does kill battlecrafters no matter what. But it's also decent to do extra damage to infantry, especially if they're on cities. Because Sonja's bad luck means that the anti-air actually is decently helpful. Here. He actually didn't go for the interrupt here, interestingly. So, okay, that's pretty good for me, honestly. I'll take that. I move in with the recon there. And I'm basically just zoning out this area with tanks as best as I can here. I have the anti-air here in range to sort of deal with the recon. I completely forgot about the recon, I think, at this point. So, but I'm kind of assuming that he's scared enough of my vehicles in this area that he's not going to really do much with it. And I bet I go for the battlecopter here as well. I think it's a decent move, but we'll see how effective it ends up being. Because build order wise, yeah, he's going for that. It's pretty guaranteed at that point. Mainly, I just wanted to make sure that he didn't get a tank under. But since there's the missile silo right next to it, it's not really. That's the other thing about this map is there's a lot of spaces where it's not just a city by itself, but there's 2 or maybe even 3 defensive tiles right next to one another, and Sonja doesn't really like that. What Sonja likes is having a city by itself that she can park a tank on, and then if your opponent wants to move into it, they have to commit like 2 or 3 tanks to that. So, and they'll take a little bit of damage as well. There is the idea. I'm not sure exactly how often it ends up working out, but you know. So I do take out the infantry from that city there. Get a shot off on that infantry as well. Finish him off even. Because the main reason I didn't go for a tank here is because Sonja's attacks with tanks, like, look at this, 36-48. Like, it's about the same defensively as offensively. So like, there's no point in her attacking here with the tank. No point at all, because she'd end up getting weakened. And well, maybe she'd take a little bit less damage overall, but like, nah. And this way, well, the thing about single comm tower that's really irritating is 42, 48, and then 49, 57, right? So there is always an opportunity for, if your opponent gets lucky, they can just break through your city, which is always fucking annoying, honestly. Takes out the big guy there. Doesn't quite take out the tank there, so that's pretty good for me at this point. Unfortunately, I don't really have a tank to follow up there in position, so that's not great. And he does have the anti-air in range to deal with stuff. I'm assuming he saw my battlecopter at some point with the recon, so there is that to deal with. And then he's also got the battlecopter moving in up here, which I can deal with pretty easily because of the anti-air. I fall back with a tank, obviously, but it's basically been neutered. So, like, not the greatest here. And then I have infantry on the defensive here, basically, to deal with his infantry. So he can't really attack into this without taking a massive amount of damage on his infantry, and that's never a good idea for him. But as you can see, we're basically neck and neck. 1675, 16250. Actually, I'm doing a little bit better than he is overall. In terms of just sheer unit value on the board, right? At this point. And he's going even further up with his battlecopter here. Being really annoying with it. It's not even being useful with it. Okay, so he does manage to break through there. So he's got infantry in position to move in here. Basically taking this area entirely at this point, I believe, so. And then he's got a battlecopter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, not quite in range. As you can see here, I managed to hold the line, but like, I got basically what I got out of that was he has half an infantry, and then this infantry didn't really take much damage on the second one. So that's another thing that's really annoying about Sonja's counterattack damage is it doesn't end up mattering as much as you might want it to. So. Yeah, I'm moving there kind of aggressively, actually. The tank is in range of enough stuff here, but I think it'll die pretty easily next turn, unfortunately. I have a battlecopter here in range, but I guess mainly just to guard all of this stuff from his battlecopter is what I have it for at this point. So, I mean, not the end of the world here so far. But he is making some movement here, annoyingly. He pops Urban Blight, which is also really fucking annoying. So... And that by itself almost, like... it just cripples me. Because I get rid of all my momentum in this area. I can't really... Like, it's enough to make it so that I'm not capping this turn. And he has enough vehicles in this area to take this out. Obviously, I'm going to get a counter break here, but he does have a good mixture of units at this point. So you can just bypass it, more or less. I'm gonna be able to take out his battlecopter here, obviously. That was a very stupid move from him. I pop counter break, so I get a good amount of first strikes here with the tanks, which isn't bad. And I'm able to move in here with the battlecopter for basically free, even though, like, look at how much fucking damage I took. Oh, it's because it was on the city, okay. Yeah, I should not have left the battlecopter on the city like that, that was dumb. I join cap here, but I'm not really expecting to be able to hold the line here. But it's only 2 health, right? So he's going to have to commit a little bit of stuff into there in order to stop that cap. And then I interrupt there with the infantry because I don't have much else to do with it. I might have wanted to move in there even against this guy, but he's got this tank able to move in over here, so he could just fallen back and killed with that tank, so. But he's going to fall back with most of his stuff here. He's going to move in with the battlecopter plus the infantry, and he's going to be able to interrupt that cap. So they're right by just that, like, the one Urban Blight was really effective. It's the superpower here is like it's not bad, but he's able to move in for free against my infantry still with his vehicles, and he's got a lot of vehicles in this area, so it's not gonna end up being like super good for me at the end of the day. Now I move in to finish off his tanks over here, which isn't bad. To be fair. So I have a decent little tank presence over here. Moving in like that. I should have gotten another anti-air as soon as I saw the second battlecopter, but I think I'm going to be able to move in with this guy pretty easily. And like, so far, I'm ahead of in income right now, so overall, I think I'm still holding up pretty well. Yeah, I'm still ahead right now, so just gonna have to do something to deal with that. He takes out the tank there with the help of the battlecopter, which again, part of why Sonja isn't that great is battlecopter are able to just move in, get the first strike, and then after the first strike, your counterattack damage doesn't really matter anymore because you're too weak for it to matter. So just this one battlecopter is really annoying for me right here. And I'm moving like that. Don't quite kill it because I don't have any luck. I managed to take out that guy at least. He's gonna get another Urban Blight off here. So I'm moving in. Now I'm sort of moving in, taking the Urban Blight into consideration here. So I'm making sure that I'm not staying on the cities for this turn, but well, you'll see how that's gonna end up working out, I guess. So moves in like this, pops his power. It's an amazing shot off of there. Not sure what I was even... Oh, I know what I was doing here. Yeah, I just left this guy open to that for no reason. I saw the tank. I knew he was going to get the Urban Blight, but I just left this guy exposed for no reason there. Which is really fucking dumb of me. I remember to take everyone off of the cities, but I forgot to keep people away from the cities. But yeah, he's able to push pretty effectively here. Actually not able to get much of a... Well, there's a bit of an urban boost there, I guess. But yeah, it basically wiped out all of my tanks in the center here, unfortunately. Which is fantastic. At that point, I popped my super, because I still have a little bit to go, because I have my counter break still, so I can do a little bit here. Okay, I can stop that cap, I can do some damage to... look at this. Are you fucking kidding me with this? So you have counter break Sonja tank versus this guy, and you're only doing 62%. Any other CO, any other CO, and you're gonna be doing it's so little damage. It's so fucking stupid. Fortunately for me, I'm able to do movement like this for basically free, because I go for the bomber there for whatever reason. I don't think that was a good move either, because he's got anti-air and the anti-air everywhere. What I should have done was get a Neo tank, because then I could have just started demolishing shit, because all he has is vehicles at this point. I think I might have been expecting a medium tank or something, but seeing all these light vehicles, I need a defensive unit, and bombers are not defensive at all. So definitely should have gone for the Neo tank there. At this point, to be fair to me, I am still ahead in income, and my unit count isn't even bad right now. It's not even that bad. As you can see here, I'm still technically ahead, for the time being at least. You do so little damage, Sonja. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how little damage you're able to do here. And the other thing is, I might have wanted to save my super for this turn, because it would have been a lot more effective. If I had done it like that. Getting more tanks here, but it's not going to end up mattering because my opponent's just going to be able to swarm me with all of the vehicles she has. So, bam, 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 bam. Alright. Just deleting all of my forces. So, at this point, like, I just resign. So I think my main mistake here, well, there were a couple, and it was sort of towards the end as well, because I was still doing fine at this point. Okay, to be fair, I think popping the super here is probably warranted because he does have a lot of people capping things at this point. So I needed to get rid of all the infantry I could at this point. So to be fair, that is like a decent time to pop my super. But as you can see here, I've got 5-ish tanks to his 7, 8, 9. Like, he's got an insane number of tanks on the field at this point. So what I needed was something to deal with the light vehicles, which was not the bomber. It would have been a neo tank or even a medium tank. If I started pumping out medium tanks at this point, that would have been fine as well. Because that's also not bad at all against light vehicles like this. Because well, even like a Kindle tank from the city with a power-up only does like a third of a medium tank on a road. So like if I were even on a plains or a city of my own, right? Like the medium tanks will be able to hold the points. Whereas my tanks aren't really going to be able to do that. And actually, that's another thing about Sonja is that I usually don't tech up, but I really should be teching up. And the reason for that is Sonja's extra 50% counterattack damage really only works if you have a couple of units that can be attacking. So early game, that would be infantry into infantry if there's not really a swarm of infantry built up to push yet. Or if you have a forward tank, your opponent can't really push with their tank. But once they start swarming with tanks like this, what I really do need to do as Sonja, now that I think about it, is start teching up, basically. Just start pumping out medium tanks and stuff that he can't really deal with just tanks, right? Because what that's going to force him to do is, so long as I stay on the properties with my medium tanks, it's like if you do something like that, that's still not bad. Not from the city, right? It's still an even trade for me. Even if it's from, I guess, a silo. Can I get? Yeah. So, where's the medium tank? Yeah, even a medium tank on a silo isn't like... That's scary. With the power active, even. So, like... That's something I should really be thinking of doing more often as Sonja is teching up, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, that'd be smart. Yeah, my just tank spam strats aren't really working anymore. Especially against someone like Kindle who can just swarm me, right? So yeah, like what Sonja likes is more expensive units, which is sort of maybe counterintuitive, but it makes sense if you sort of think about it. Anyways, if you enjoyed, well, actually, no, this is my outro. yeah, so as I said at the beginning of this episode, this is going to be the last episode of the season. Partially because, well, this, to be fair, this did bring me down to like just below 1.1k. But the next match does bring me right above it. So after that, it'll be basically just road to 1200, I guess. Because I don't think I'm going to be dipping down below 1.1. Well, I might if I play really badly, but I feel like I'm not going to be below 1.1 after this point. So, yeah, stay tuned for next week's match, which will be, well, the first episode of season 5, I think I'm on at this point, where I'm going to be going for 1.2k from now on. And yeah, that'll be, we'll see. I'm probably going to change up the thumbnail at least a little bit. Maybe make it nice and shiny. Anyway, stay tuned for that. That'll be at least a little bit fun. So if you enjoyed, go ahead and like and subscribe and all that other nonsense. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.